So, Tricia, you had asked, first of all, a question about Google Analytics on WordPress concurrently with Shopify. Do you want to explain that?
Um, let me look back at my question. So it's actually a GoDaddy website and Shopify. It's
Okay.
not WordPress. But yeah, so and the Shopify site is on a subdomain.
Mhm.
And so I believe my understanding is that Google Analytics, if we're looking at that, is going to pick up that subdomain. So as long as I have the correct same code on both of those sites, that will get the information and I don't need to do anything special. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Google Analytics out of the box, you can put the same code on a triple W, a non-triple W, a subdomain, and it will carry through, pardon me, carry through the session between one domain and the subdomain.
Okay.
If Shopify was installed on website, if they had website.com and then websitestore.com, that would be a separate domain.
Okay, yes. So this is
That you'd have to set up cross-domain tracking, which this is yet another reason why GA4 is superior. It is really easy to set up cross-domain tracking.
okay.
Or like I had a client that had a booking system on a third-party website. Well, we just had to tell in the back end to Google Analytics, cross-domain tracking, consider anything at this domain, the same domain as this. And if you see the same code on there, and it actually will insert the tracking code past, it's great. It's a lot better than it used to be.
So I think that was kind of where I was thinking originally. I had we talked about before. So for example, I had used Book Like a Boss for my booking, and I have like my subdomain is, well, I'm not sure, I might be going off on a tangent, but that would be an instance where cross domain
Right.
tracking
If the
would apply.
domains change.
If it's different,
If
correct.
the only thing is before the whatever the letters before the main the URI versus, correct me my terminology, but the domain.com, .net, .awesome, whatever, that as long as that's the same, you can install the same analytics code on any number of them, and it will pass information and keep the session together. And the advantage of that is that when someone lands because of organic search and then they check out on shop.website.com, it will attribute that sale to the organic search visit. If it's a different domain, what you'll see is all the sales are a result of the site at which it landed on, website.com. And it would come in, everything would come in as referrals.
Okay, yeah. So you're
that would
better
be
tracking.
right.
Okay.
And another way I've seen this is there's a weird way sometimes people set up Salesforce where a form will be submitted. It goes through Salesforce and even ends on the main website's page. But because there's just a flash of a view of the Salesforce page in between the submission of the form and the confirmation page, almost indiscernible for humans, every lead got attributed to Salesforce because it passed through before it went back. So all we had to do is set up cross-domain tracking, done.
Fix that.
Or in this case, we changed the way the form got submitted and it worked just fine. But
yeah.
It's important to know. It's important to know. So if you see like your website giving you self-referring traffic, that's actually in the weekly dashboard, self-referring traffic, you know that there's something wrong with your analytics code. And that's why that's a metric in the weekly Google Analytics dashboard. So in case something comes up weird, you're like, wait, why am I getting traffic from my own website?
Yeah.
That's why. Right.
Now, if, for instance, I did find out evidently this is like a main site is a GoDaddy site, and I tried using Google Tag Manager, and after quite an extensive talk with them. They do not have the option for GoDaddy websites to add GTM. You
Okay.
can only add GA4. So the GoDaddy site has Google Analytics 4 code, and the Shopify, I believe, is using the Google Tag Manager. That doesn't really matter because their Google Tag Manager has that, or what?
I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. The only thing that would be, there might be a weird circumstance if you have your analytics code in Tag Manager, but other analytics code like your phone call tracking software outside of Tag Manager, it might not be able to communicate very well. But I've seen that before. But in this case, the Tag Manager is just serving up analytics, and so it should not have a
Yeah,
conflict.
for right now, that's all that's in there. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that just reminds me to remind y'all, it's better for you to use Tag Manager, but you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, and
Right.
that's the thing, I preferred it, but when I found out I couldn't use it, I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's not worth stressing or
use it.
yelling at GoDaddy or whoever for
No, I
not
mean,
using
they
it.
just
Just move on. Like,
didn't
yeah.
have the option for it. So yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you asked. That's actually a pretty common occurrence. So I hope everyone here can hear that and be like, oh, next time they encounter it, like, oh, okay, I see. No, I know exactly what's going on.
Perfect.
Great. Well, you had a question about our favorite Looker Studio too.